Hey guys, real quick before the tournament, what I'd want to do is really take a look at the last 2 weeks and what we have emphasized in practice from a tactical standpoint. First thing we have set up is our basic jump press or soft press. Those are the two things that we're going to call it. So the jump press is what we've always worked on. We can see here that the opposing team is starting in the back. We have all of our man marked players in the midfield. They have an opposing forward, and then our back line is set up about midfield. And what we're going to do here is the ball is going to get played out. No matter what, the 10 is going to start right about the top of the D. He's going to sprint over and cut off that pass, whether it goes to the 5 or the 3. When that ball gets played around, he will then leverage this pass this way so that it keeps coming around, knowing that this player is going to start cheating over, and when this ball's played to the 4 or the 2, they're going to jump that pass. Okay. At the same time, our 2 over here is going to, our outside back is going to shift up to the winger, and our other outside back will switch over. The main thing that kids are starting to have trouble with when we don't practice this on a regular basis is the starting position. And what I mean by that is what we see a lot of times is when this ball is played, if it gets played way out to the 3, our winger is trying to jump that right away, and then we're getting caught out of position because these players, we're leaving this huge gap in this area because 7 and 3 are now out of position. Remember, we're not jumping this first pass. We're inviting them to think that these passes coming back across are open. That's why the 10 sprints out. We're staying home. We're staying home. We're staying home here, so we're occupying all the space. And then as the ball gets played across, this is where they think, as this player continues to try to start to cheat, same with this player starting to cheat, they think that these passes are open, and that's where we jump those passes. So that's the jump press. The high press is significantly different. What we see here is that our forward starts as close as he can be to the box, so not at the top of the D, but at the top of the box. We've got our wingers pressed up on the outside back. We've got our outside back pressed up on their wingers, and then we're blanketing their forward, and our central midfielders are still going to be um, occupying and marking man to man. These players are marking man to man. These are marking man to man, man to man, man to man. We're in their pockets. We're tight. We're not letting them get a pass off. This is basically, once this ball's played, is a 1-on-3. So the goal again is for the forward to come out and then take a quick hard turn and make this player pass back, and then again force this ball into this direction where then 5 has to make a decision quickly, either giving the ball up to the midfield, out to the wide. Everybody's pressed, everybody's got a man mark. It's an easy win. Um, Sometimes what we'll see is that this ball will get played back and forth several times in between the 1, 4, and 5 here. That's this forward's job to keep the ball in this area, and eventually these players will panic as these players continue to stay marked up everywhere they're at. Okay, and eventually that ball will be played into a congested area someplace for us to win. So we're going to talk about our defensive to offensive transition. You can see here that what we've done is we have compressed, if we're the white team, we have compressed everything really into the middle third, not the outer thirds, but the middle third of the field. So our 2, our 11, our wingers, we're all compressed into this middle third. We make things tight. The goal for us is to certainly win the ball as quickly as possible, and then for our wingers to get wide, playing back or directly to the wingers wide, playing back to our outside mids, and then playing wide, and then getting our forwards out wide to where we can then have 1-on-1, 2-on-1 out on the wings. That's the big move that we need to make sure we continue to do. The challenge that we continue to have from an offensive standpoint is when we win the ball in the center of the field and we immediately try to go and run, and everybody runs straight forward, getting into this area with all these midfielders tracking, and you can see how we then turn that ball over very quickly. Our goal right now is to try to possess a little bit more. It takes so much time and energy to actually get a turnover, so our goal is that to not turn the ball right back over and get back into our defensive stance, especially as we're going to be playing some older players or older teams and some good teams down in St. Louis. They're going to possess pretty well. So when we do win the ball back, we have to make sure that we're getting wide, we're getting the ball wide, we're getting our forward wide. Our midfield is then taking the spot of the forward, and then our defensive midfielders are supporting these passes into these regions here, and then we work our outsides, and then eventually get our checks in or early balls in, which we'll talk about in just a second. Okay, transitioning. So we're the white team here defending, and a lot of possession for most teams happen, right along half field if they're recycling the ball with their defenders and or kind of probing the central midfield, getting in and out of that central midfield. And so this is also where a lot of balls are won, right? And so when we have balls that are won, if we're compressed back here, one of the easiest plays that we can right away do is get the ball right back to our outside back, okay, once we win, which is something we've worked on, getting our winger wide and up just a hair, and then playing that ball in, okay, to where they're in front of the other winger. They turn, and the next step is for us to try to get, as this winger comes across, an early entry ball. So what we saw in Milwaukee is that many times we would dribble this ball down, let this outside back come, let everybody come down and through, and we take the ball all the way down to the box on this lateral or outside side, and we'd be defended here. Then we'd make several different moves and eventually make a cross into the box. But at this point, all of these defenders have now come back and have now marked all of our offensive players, and we've got stagnant and with no stagnation and no movement in the actual box. And so one of the things that we worked on, all the boys can attest to this, is that we worked on early entry pass. So when this ball gets played down the line, before this three can get over and provide heavy pressure, okay, we play a nice, easy through ball across someplace into this area that really puts this goalie in kind of crisis. Should I come out? Should I not come out? And then this forward and this winger has a chance to come on and run on before these other defenders, and everybody gets into this kind of stagnant position into the box. And so that's the other transition piece that we worked on quite a bit over this past couple weeks. Okay, so the last piece that we worked on is really how the ball is, excuse me, specifically recycled through the back line, really about 50% of the time. And so we know that whenever we start on one side, the ball's recycled and it comes all the way back through to our outside back. And so the goal here is as that ball tracks, this forward should be kind of moving along with the ball. Once this ball gets out or is about ready to get out to our outside back, our 11 or our winger should be getting out as wide as possible. This player should be trying to jump to that winger if we can get out there early and often so that we can read it. And the key is this player checking out early enough so that he's got time before they make that jump. Okay, now he's got an opportunity for 10 to check into this space. If 3 is playing inside leverage, we check into the outside space. If 3 is playing outside leverage, we check into the inside space. But most of the time they'll be playing inside leverage, so we play that ball down to 10. Defensively, they should be shifting across, and our 9 should be filling into that space, and that's our attacking winger, and our outside mid should be, or our winger on the outside should be coming through. And then from here, this player is either cheating over where he shouldn't be, which then they can play a quick 1-2 into the 9 and back through, or we can play several different balls down the line and with the goal of getting a cross off, or as we worked on earlier in the week, is actually this 11 coming back. If we can't get that cross off, this 11 coming back, checking into space, getting a nice good touch across the box, either for a shot or for these players coming back post for a cross. So that's the new progression that we worked on this week.